So I wanted this to be the last sermon in the series that we've had over Lent, or over Advent and Christmas of the angels among us, beginning to see angels just in the traits of ordinary people around us. And you'll remember that we looked at Zechariah and at Joseph and at John the Baptist, and saw those as ordinary people who had these special traits that allowed them to be angels amongst us, messengers of God's word and message. So today, for the last one in our series, Simeon and Anna. Now, we very seldom talk about Simeon and Anna, or at least I very seldom talk about them. So, a quiz. What do you know about Simeon and Anna? All right. So, tell me one thing you know about Simeon and Anna. All the time. She was a full-time temple dweller. Yes? Simeon is going to live until he has had a glimpse of the new one. Now, who is that like? As soon as you hear that story, I know it resonates in your head. We know another famous biblical character who didn't get Moses. Moses didn't get to the promised land, but he got a glimpse of the promised land. So here we have Simeon cast in that same mold as Moses. What else do we know about them? They're both senior citizens. Hold that thought. That's excellent. Okay. How many of you have ever gone to evening services? The Nunc Dimittis. So if you have gone to evening services, there is this thing that Simeon has says, the Nunc Dimittis is, Master, now, no, just a minute, that's a different translation. Yes. Mary's got it, you can tell, that Anglican background. Lord, now let your servant depart in peace according to your word. For my eyes have seen your salvation, which has been prepared before the face of all people, to be a light to lighten the Gentiles, and to be a glory to your people Israel. I was thinking about tradition. And now that the tradition of evening services has gone, those words which in another time and another generation would have been used every week in the Sunday evening service are lost now to us because they don't appear and they're not used any other time. And so that's just a little kind of tidbit of church tradition that most of us don't know, and actually going forward will be almost totally lost to people in a more progressive style of liturgy. So it's a kind of a We're on the cusp of a new year, eh? We're on the cusp of a new time. And that which has been familiar is passing away. But into the space that's left will come new traditions and new words that speak the message, because the content won't leave us. Because there will always be the human experience of being able to see what is to come, but knowing that we will not live long enough to see it come to fruition. It is that African proverb, blessed are those who plant trees whose shade they will never enjoy. Right? Now, Pat, you said that wonderful thing about Simeon and Anna. And we talk about them together, but they're actually quite different characters. But in 2014, when Pope Francis was just a kind of new, a young pope, young in his term, he preached on this passage. And he said that we should think about Simeon and Anna as senior citizen prophets. And he went on in his homily to talk about the gifts that senior citizens have brought to the church. And he said he admonished all those in the Roman Catholic Church to not deny the gifts that senior citizens brought into their midst and into their community life. And then he called on senior citizens to be like Simeon and Anna. And that is to be people who not only knew the history, knew what had happened, but also to be people who were looking for the future. We're trying to see the signs and get the glimpses of what was to come. One of the things that I believe it is the role of the church to do, because you're not going to be blown away by this insight of mine, but the church has a lot of senior citizens in it, right? I think I'm very astute to have noticed that. And sometimes there is a tendency in the church, because the senior citizens have been there for a long time, I'm trying to say this delicately, but let me just say it and then apologize, okay? Sometimes the church has allowed people to get into the practice of only remembering how it used to be done and not calling people to look at what is the glimpse of the future. And so sometimes the church has contributed to an inflexibility in people as they grow older. Because in the church, they get accustomed to doing it their way. Pardon? That wasn't too delicate. See, and I am persuaded that when we are in our senior years, that is a time of often rapid change in our lives. There is an unpredictability to being a senior citizen. Health can be unpredictable. Relationships, our partners, well, those can be unpredictable. What if one goes before the other? The one who is left is thrust into a sea change in their world. Often we have to move when we're senior citizens. We call it downsizing. But if we haven't done it all along the way, then the memories that are packed away in our back corners are tremendously poignant. We look at them and we remember the days when we were younger and we moved faster and all these things. And so there's sadness for that loss. And we're having to do it, sometimes against our will. So, see, I think the church does a disservice to people as we get older if the church does not keep calling us to look forward, does not keep helping us practice the skills of flexibility. Because there is certainly a need for senior citizens, for people who live a long time, to be practiced in the skill of flexibility. Now, I can say that right after the time when you've had Christmas, and you think, for those of you who've had people in your home staying with you, you think, oh my goodness, like the kids move at a different speed. And they don't do things the way I do. And if you're not flexible, well, there can be a certain amount of strife come from that. So I want to suggest to you that Simeon and Anna are angels among us who call us as senior citizens and really as people of all ages to continue to practice flexibility, to not become stuck in looking backwards, but to keep our eyes looking for the signs of what the future will look like. Glimpses. The other thing about Simeon and Anna is, and this is, the thing about Simeon and Anna is they recognized Jesus in this story from Luke. Luke is making a point here. You know, young Mary, she's had the baby. She and Joseph, they are pondering all these things in their hearts. They're unsure what they mean. They have glimpses, but they don't understand what the glimpses mean. Simeon and Anna, in the way that Luke tells the story, they get it immediately because they have the wisdom and the understanding that goes with, we've seen these signs before. And yeah, when we were young, like Mary and Joseph, we didn't understand them. But now, with the wisdom of age, Simeon and Anna look at this baby, and Simeon says, oh my goodness, you know, death can come any time now, because my life has been fulfilled, because I have seen the one who will lead the people, who will set a new direction for Israel. It's kind of cool, eh? We talk about the wisdom of age, and certainly Simeon and Anna have that wisdom. They have understanding that goes with seeing the signs. And they understand that a life, this life that Jesus will live, can make a difference. I said that Simeon and Anna are not the same people. Even though Luke partners up men and women all through his book and makes them equal characters, which in the day and age in which Luke is writing this is a very revolutionary thing to do. So Simeon, he recognizes and understands what is going on, and he is content that his life has come to fulfillment, and he is ready. His life cycle is complete. Anna gives us a different model. She's not satisfied to let this be the end, the fulfillment. Anna is a prophet, and she wants to go and tell everyone. She still has energy to help other people understand that this child will bring something special. And so she begins to praise God and to speak about the child to all who were looking. So two different models. But my point is that Simeon and Anna, those traits are present in the angels who are among us today. They are present every time someone with the wisdom of age says, I understand what these imponderables maybe mean. Every time someone with the benefit of the wisdom of age looks forward and says, I see the signs of the times. David Frum is one of my kind of angels among us. Do you know the name? So he's the editor-in-chief of Atlantic Magazine. So he has said that unless we do something, the world is moving in a direction, and the signs of the times are such that there will be tremendous unrest and a sense of growing schism in the world, and a reintroduction of autocratic governments that work for the benefit of the rich, and that silence through a variety of means any opposition. He's seen it before. And we live in a world that has these kind of cycles, eh? I mean, I hope he's wrong. But as we come to the letting go of 2017 and move into 2018, I feel like one of the things that's been kind of tilted is our understanding, our appreciation for democracy. I don't know what to do about that. David Frum and some other people, I think, have some ideas. But he's been around. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe I should just go back and think about honky tonky. But but you get what I'm talking about on the cusp of this new year? There are signs that are available for us, for all people to see, but perhaps with the wisdom of age and the kind of understanding that we've seen this before, there comes a greater understanding. And so then I wonder, what is our role? And what will be the role of the Simeons and Annas, the senior citizens who have seen it before? And how will we hear their voice? Well, I've left myself with more questions than I've answered. And so I guess that's a good sermon, and I should just stop there. Thank you for listening.